Welcome back, and we have our complete home traced. All the hips, valleys, fascia boards have been traced, and we're going to go ahead and start identifying some lines. We did a couple over there, but let's go ahead and identify the entire house. So what you'll do is make sure the trace and identify light is on. Click a line, that is a hip. And we've set this up two different ways. We've set it up where you can immediately edit this item, give it the properties that you need that item to be, and we're using 2x12s throughout this entire project except for the ridge beam. So and then we'll that is a multi-pitch 10 and 12, and be sure and hit that complete button and then hit repeat edit, and that will allow those properties to transfer over to all the hips in this house. Let me make sure I get all these. Now the duplicate button, this is the duplicate button up here. That is for maybe if you have a lot of work to do, you have an apprentice, or you want to hand it off to somebody else to complete, and not give these lines any properties. You can go ahead and do that, and it will simply change the lines to a hip, valley, or ridge, or fascia without properties. And then whoever, you can come back later and complete the properties for those specific items. And now that we've got those, let's make sure I caught them all. I got two more right here. And again, I'm using the wheel mouse and the right mouse button to pan around, the wheel mouse to zoom. Be sure and save it. Now hit trace and identify again. And the valleys can be figured two different ways. Some people cut them off right here on the job site to bear on that wall and cut these tails off for estimating purposes. This is an estimating program, so we're going to go ahead and figure that entire valley. Now for the duplicate button, let's try that out. So the duplicate, you can go in and duplicate the valleys. Okay, now those are duplicated and they've been given the identity of a valley. There's been no properties attached. Once we edit that valley and give it the properties, can hit repeat edit, and then continue on around the plan. And notice they're flashing, so it's very easy to see what items you have left to do. And on these valleys, if you want to get the end of it, go to the very bottom of it. I think that's it for the 10 and 12 valleys. We got one more here. Now for these two, that's different. They got a different pitch, so we will identify that as a valley. Edit. It's a multi-pitch, and that is a 5 and a 10-12 pitch. Same with this ridge here. Oops, 5 and a 10. And this order does not matter. Now before I do the ridges, remember how identified this as a rafter start point and this as a rafter start point. It doesn't matter if you do that first. I like to do it first to get it out of the way, but you can come in here and adjust this plane, move it out of the way, make sure that green light's on. I press the wheel mouse down to turn that light on. And let's make sure we got that rafter start point. There we go. And then just move it back. Same for here. Make sure the green light's on. Ridge. Edit to give it properties. And just move it back. Now you want to examine the roof before you start identifying lines so you can catch places like that. And then we will do this cricket. And that is a close point. Now these lines, the reddish pink lines, they have no properties. But this close point, let's say you want to flush a 2x12 right there, you can give it properties. And it will show up. This red light, just turn it on, and there's your list. There's everything that's in that house so far on that roof. This is the actual list. These numbers coincide with these numbers here. And this is the combined list. These are all the material that's going to be sent out to the job site. So we have 2x12, 8-footers, 10-footers, and so on. We got your roof decking in there, and you can turn on and off this stuff, these items over here. And let's do a. Now you got to get all your commons. So there's a common rafter, and that is on a 10-12, and we're using 2x8s through this entire house. That's a 10 pitch. Complete. It does not have a freeze board. Now repeat it. We've got some over here that are 10 and 12. Okay, and let's go on over to the fascias. So make sure that green light is on. The fascia gets a rafter start point, a gutter, and let's give it a freeze board. Now we can edit that. Number 2 spruce, 2x8s. Complete, and just head on around the house. And it doesn't matter if you have 2 fascias on one plane with 2 rafter start points, the system will recognize that and take one of those out. Okay, we're going to go head on over to the completed identified roof, not the rafters generated or the cutouts. We'll explain that in the next video. But with PlanView Pro, there's less time, less waste, and increased profit margins.